today I actually have some great news for me anyways. As you all know, I did break down like 5 days after I purchased my car. I was stranded 150 miles from home, spent hours sitting in a parking lot waiting for a tow. It was not great. But VinFast, they stepped up. They said, we're going to send you a tow truck, first of all. Second of all, they told me that they would reimburse me for a rental car. And I was like, are you sure? Because this is a 2-week-long work trip that I'm like getting started on. So I need a rental for 2 weeks. And like, are you going to reimburse me for the whole 2 weeks? And they assured me that they would. And they also told me that they would compensate me. It's like they have a program, I forget what they're calling it, but it's basically like an inconvenience fee that they're paying their customers. So if your car breaks down and it has to be towed, they pay you $300 for the inconvenience of the car being towed. And so they told me that I'd be paid that plus $100 a day after 3 days that it had to be in service. Well, it turned out that my car was in service for 2 weeks. So I've been back and forth. It's been, a month now that I'm like waiting to be reimbursed all that money. And a couple weeks ago, they hit me with saying that they were only going to pay me that inconvenience fee and they weren't going to reimburse me for the rental car, which, yes, it was still going to be more money than what the rental car cost me, but I felt like VinFast really needed to honor what they said they were going to do, and I really pushed it, and it did take a few phone calls and emails, but I did just get the happy news Friday that they will be reimbursing me for the 15 days of my car being in service, so $1,500 plus the $700 and something that I ended up spending on my rental. So I'll be getting a little over, I think it's like about $2,300. So now I just have to wait for them to actually cut the check and mail it. But the fact that that is the plan and that is the amount, I'm pretty happy about that, as I'm sure you can understand and imagine. Second piece of good news. Today I had a technician come out to my house and he installed the latest update. For those of you in the US, the last two numbers on the most recent latest software update is 0.12. In Canada, I guess it's 0.13. I don't really know what the difference between US and Canadian cars is, but that's that. So I guess I have Sony Ride View now. I haven't even looked at that yet, but I'm kind of excited because I guess you can like sit and like watch movies or whatever, like while you're charging or doing whatever you might be doing in your car. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, and the update, like it's supposed to fix a few other things, like for instance, like the side view mirrors, like randomly deciding to face different directions. That's supposed to fix that. And I've turned the car off and on several times today, driven several short trips, and I haven't had an issue with the mirrors since that. He also fixed the little creaking noise that my moonroof was making, and he even did like a little test drive with me, and we kind of tested out the hill assist, and I've determined that I just have to keep the creep mode on, which I had been turning it off just because I liked the idea of not always having to use my brakes, but having it on makes the hill assist much more functional, so I'll just be doing that. But overall, yeah, it was a really good experience having the tech come out, because I do live a couple hours away from the closest service station. So the fact that they send someone all the way to my house to do that, I think that's like some spectacular customer service. And the guy who came out, he came from the Ventura location. He was very polite, and I kind of hit him with like, hey, I just sent a big fat email to customer service last night and I have a ton of questions and things. And he listened to every single one of my concerns and was like for instance, I'm having a little bit of brake groaning, which I guess is that's been a common issue for people. And he was like, yeah, I know exactly what needs to be done. He's like, I don't have the stuff to do it, but I can come back and do it. And so he's supposed to contact me to set up a date for that. So that'll be good. And he did he gave me a lot of reassurance, like that's not a problem. It's just, the thing is just slightly miscalibrated, blah, blah, blah. Like you don't have to worry about it, but we will fix it. So that was great news. And just kind of talked to me a little bit about like how do we drive the car, and like because I was like, it's an electric car, it's totally different from anything I've ever owned before. Is like I do expect to have a learning curve and like to have to do things a little differently and figure things out. And he was just really, really cool about like talking to me about that stuff. And like my brother came by and he had some questions about my charging setup, and he answered those questions, and I'm feeling way, way, way better, way more positive about my car this week compared to when I made my last video, when I was feeling a little bit like, oh my God, was this a horrible mistake? Driving the car right now. And yeah, you know, it's a really nice car. I mean, like, it's a joy to drive. You just want it to work, and like at the moment everything seems to be working great. And like I said, he did put some of my concerns to rest for me and is addressing, you know, stuff that needs to be addressed, and I just feel really good about it. So yeah, I thought that it would be nice to post kind of a happier, more positive video than the last few have been. I am working out of town this week, but next week I would like to maybe do one where I talk about some of the things, like some of the features that I really love about this car, because there are a lot of great features, and I think that, you know, like there's a million videos complaining about the car and talking about, you know, the negatives of the car, and I'm not gonna, like, I won't lie to anybody. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, it's a perfect car, like, right off the lot, because obviously that's not true. But I do think that it is a nice car, and I think that once all these little like software bugs get like figured out, I think it's gonna be a great car. Like, I think I'm like, I already don't think I'm gonna go back to having a gas engine. So I most likely would like to have another electric vehicle after this one. Not that I'm planning on getting rid of this one anytime soon. I've got, you know, at least 3 years on the lease still to go. And, but yeah, I mean, like I said, like, I do think that there are things worthy of praise, and I'm looking forward to sharing that stuff with you guys next week. Thank you.